15 minutes ago, it said kickoff was with Leeds United. And the Arsenal.
good afternoon and welcome to LUTV's coverage of this FA Cup fourth round tie. What a huge day it is for Leeds United Women as they travel to Arsenal, one of the giants of the women's game, and Leeds hoping to play with plenty of pride and put on the best show possible in what is one of the biggest days of this team's career against Arsenal, with some recognisable names in the squad. Before we get into all of how the teams got there, we can run you through the two teams first and what we expect from the fixture. So Arsenal go first with Marquise. It's then Beattie, Williamson, Catley, Little, McCabe, Ford, Queiroz, Pelova, Kuel and Wienreuter. And then the bench, D'Angelo, Suara, Lotte, Marnham, Maritz, Hurtig, Blacksteinus, Anyam and Reed. As for Leeds and Rick Passmore's side, we go with Carrie Simpson, Olivia Smart, Catherine Hamill, Rachel Hindle, Sarah Danby, Macy Ellis, Daniel Witham, Leonie Price, Catherine Smith, Abby Brown and Amy Woodruff. The bench, Molly Beacock, Paige Williams, Kanishme Underdown, Bridie Hannon, Sandra Suarez Martins and Savannah Robson. So the teams will go through their pre-match routine, and you can tell it's a big special day when it comes to the FA Cup with the Leeds team in the jacket. Something different, something to remember by. And of course Leeds normally go through their photo routine and a photo to savour for the players that can say they played against one of the best teams in England. Myself, Tom Hill and Jodie Hunter will bring you all the action today. Jodie, this is a very big day in the recent women's history of Leeds United Football Club. It's a game that's going to be a huge task, but a day to enjoy. Yeah, definitely. I think obviously, for speaking on behalf of the players at Leeds, it's been obviously a dream to make it this far, but obviously very well done so as well, beating two opposition in the leagues above. So obviously we like a test, and obviously this is the biggest test probably that they'll ever face this season, and obviously in the coming seasons hopefully we can make it up there and get a little bit closer to the top flight. And certainly the aim of the day. The Leeds go through their final routine team talk. Some leaders within the group in terms of, it's not just the one leader. They don't have the booming voice of Rebecca Bass sadly in their ear today on the pitch. She will have given her input beforehand. The club captain sadly injured with a knee injury, and we haven't done a game on our LUTV service with the women while she has been receiving treatment. So we send our thoughts to her and we hope she's back fit as soon as possible. And Leeds will always miss someone of that calibre in this team, but they have been playing relatively well in the league. So Arsenal are now ready. Leeds will play in the away strip today. And for people that maybe are not aware of the strength of the Arsenal team, of course it's very well known how successful they are as a club, but they are the record holders of the FA Women's Cup. FA Cup, they've won it 14 times. They've been a runner-up 3 times. If we're going to try and clutch any positives, they haven't won it for 6 or 7 seasons, which is not good enough. Tongue-in-cheek, of course. Leeds finished runners-up twice, back-to-back seasons, 2005 to 6, 07, 08. Leeds in the 16 meetings against Arsenal have never beaten them. So the stage is set. Game at Boreham Wood this afternoon. A fantastic crowd as well. Arsenal women do get a great crowd, and Leeds, I'm sure any travelling fans will let themselves be heard. And Leeds United are ready to get underway from the off. Amy Woodruff will take the kickoff. Abby Brown is at left midfield, and we do hope that Leonie Price can settle down into the team. Not normally somebody that has managed to start, as Leeds right from the start get into the faces of the Arsenal players. Important to get a fast start. Now we're looking at the team sheet before the game about who could play where, because we don't have a recognised centre-back next to Catherine Hamill. Jodie, it's early days, so if we get it wrong, I'm not blaming you. But your first expectations of what formation we should expect? I'm assuming it's going to be 3 at the back, with Leonie Price just sitting in front, doing what she does best, you know, just keeping that the ball in front of them, obviously giving that extra support to the defence, and then also stepping into midfield when needed. Yeah, so Leeds with Hindle stepping back to try and become one of their centre-backs. Racing back is Ellis. She gets a touch to the ball, and it will be behind for an Arsenal corner. So within this Arsenal group, they are missing 2 of the world's best. Sadly, Viviane Miedema has got an ACL injury, so has Beth Mead. That is the Beth Mead of England, the Lionesses, although the winning captain Leah Williamson is out there today for Arsenal. So we've got the best of the best for England playing against Leeds United this afternoon. Ball whipped in, nearly a free header. Ball poked forward and it's well blocked by Leeds in the end. A brave block. Last ditch by Catherine Hamill, and now chasing it down is Brown, and they go back towards the goalkeeper Arsenal. And it is with Kellen Marquis, who just goes out wide to the left. And we're speaking, Jodie, before the game about what we expect today, whether it'll be Arsenal going for the juggler straight from the off. You expected them to play the ball around, try and work the angles, really get a feel of the game. It's a good test for them, of course, to try and work on some new things. And a big gap in the divisions between the two clubs, but Leeds are sitting pretty deep, a very, very low block. It's what you said you didn't want to see in terms of for the 90 minutes. You wanted at Leeds to have a go on the counter. But as it currently stands, Leeds are going to try and make things very, very tough for space for Arsenal women as they come forward with Williamson. Not making too many strides forward out from the back, and Beattie going wide towards the left-hand side, aiming to get in behind, and that was knocked back nicely. Arsenal coming forward with real purpose and a good save towards her near post from Carrie Simpson. And that cut back at first from Catherine Kuhl timed her run to perfection. Good layoff, allowed the Arsenal players to attack on the front foot, but Simpson, Jodie, kept her near post well guarded.
Yeah, I think it's obviously very positive. Like you say, we're going to start with a low block, but hopefully as we kind of ease out of them nerves and get a foothold in this game at some point, hopefully we can see some football that we've been seeing in the last couple of games from Leeds.
Yeah, outswinging corner this time. Got hold of it, headed away by With, and that's straight away blocked by a Leeds player that's felt the full effects of that, done their job. Can't quite see who has gone down to ground. I think it's Danielle Witham, in fact, that has hit the deck. So she is one of the main reasons why Leeds United are playing in this game today, because in the last round Leeds beat Stoke. They fell behind in the first minute and then responded with a fine display. Daniel Witham with a brace, and then Amy Woodruff with another goal. And that block in this weather is going to hurt.
Yeah, we know what she's like. She'll get straight back up, but we obviously have to do the protocol checks, make sure she's good to play.
He was just double checking things. It was some real power, that. Carrie Simpson will have her work cut out today. Well, Arsenal are entering the competition in its infancy now because of their higher status in the pyramid of the women's game. Leeds have had to go through, it's their fourth match, had to qualify originally. Managed to beat Brickhouse Town. Redcar, they've beat Stoke, which is teams all above them in the pyramid as well, so certainly deserve to get here. Those were the words of Sarah Danby ahead of kickoff. Leeds are not fortunate. They've worked their way through, as a poor touch there from Ellis, just as you expected Leeds to hopefully put the front foot forward. A little bit unfortunate she just couldn't control as Arsenal build out from the back.
Yeah, I think we know how her pace can be used so well. Obviously in the last game she got a couple of goals for us and got us through to the next round. And I think she obviously was just a bit too eager there maybe.
Williamson straight through the heart of that Leeds midfield. Price putting the pressure on, shot comes in, and a good effort from Victoria Pelova, who is finding space. It was her shot last time for the corner as well. Williamson, really decisive, precise pass, and even though Leeds have got that low block, Jodie, if your ball is as crisp as that, you will find a way through.
Yeah, obviously they've got the calibre to obviously get those balls through. Let's just hope that Leeds can obviously get united and stop as many of those as possible.
Smart with the header. Nothing goes down the line. Abby Brown is quick, but the Arsenal defender Williamson has got the better angle on this ball, and she does well to turn away and stop Abby Brown from getting close. Now down the line towards Sergio Gueros. Back towards Marquis, who rolls it to Williamson, who, as expected, as the leader of this team, the captain of England, is seeing plenty of the ball, trying to lead out from the back. Beattie striding far forward as she possibly can, taking as many yards over into the Leeds half. To Beattie again and Williamson. These two centre-backs might have the most touches today for Arsenal. Amy Woodruff can never say she doesn't work hard. Never seen her this far back. Inside 6 minutes in a game, and almost is two giant lines of defenders from Leeds. The first set of defenders, then the next set, the ball whipped in. Easy work for Simpson. And I mean, early days, 6.5 minutes gone. Arsenal have been the better team, but it isn't as if Leeds have given anything away. They're making life as tough as they can. The worry would be, of course, everything on the front foot has to be perfect. So if you're on the counter, any bad touch will be smothered straight away. Yeah,
we've got to be very clinical if we create these chances today. Obviously, we know Arsenal can be, and so far we've not actually had too much danger from them. Obviously, Cara Simpson's done well to save a couple, and hopefully we can keep it that way, especially in the first half.
Williamson in possession. Arsenal on the front foot again. Here it is with Gio, who tries to get towards the byline, well intercepted by Olivia Smart, who puts her right leg out in the nick of time to stop it getting into the near post. It will be an Arsenal corner. Danby racing back as the holding midfielder try and help out, and again Olivia Smart, a bit more of a different role for her than normal. She is normally an attacking fullback. Near post runner for Arsenal ignored. That was Catherine Kuhl racing towards the near post, off from a different angle. Amy Woodruff had her covered. Now Woodruff has to get to this, and she does, and she clears the danger. Needs to be a good section of the Leeds support behind the goal, trying to encourage those players every time. But I think inside the first 8 minutes, to make the cup tie as competitive as possible, Leeds had to try and make sure that it was 0-0 if they could. I think Rick Passmore will be pretty pleased. Yeah, I think they're showing the discipline really well here, obviously working together as two units, like you say, and obviously trying to limit those balls through to split the defence. Ellis with a back heel away. Hindle has to be alert, unfortunately caught out in possession. Hamill comes across. That touch was important just as much from Smart as she gives it inside to Ellis, who just shows too much of it to the Arsenal midfield, and then recover it with Gio. That Arsenal midfield everywhere at the moment, all swapping, exchanging passes. Ball delivered in, and the Leeds players come off second best. That looked to be a painful one. The referee has gone across to double check, and that seemed to be Daniel Witham again, and her right leg smashed into the floor awkwardly. Fair play to the referee to be so cautious to get across and see if she's okay. And Daniel Witham, no trouble for her to just get up and continue without the physio. Needed it for the last incident with the ball to the face, but this time happy to continue as Leeds must clear this towards the penalty spots. Leeds players don't get to it. Simpson comes and it's in, and two Arsenal players come by at the same time. Not sure who got the final touch, but the free header, that was the difference there for Arsenal. Once Leeds didn't get the original ball, they were always under pressure. At least one of those is Jennifer Beattie, the number 5. She does seem to be claiming a lot of the applause. So Beattie went for the first header, and the deflection was off the number 19, Caitlin Ford, who has got the goal. And Caitlin Ford scored the other night in the 3-0 victory over Aston Villa. So set pieces wise, I don't think Rick Passmore will be too pleased. No, I think obviously if you're playing against Arsenal, and they've got brilliant players playing through the lines of defence, to get a goal, you don't mind it as much as like a sloppy goal as that, more of a deflection and not really cleared from Leeds. So it's a bit disappointing to see that as the first goal. Leeds will be frustrated. First few set pieces were dealt with relatively easily. Touch from Williamson takes out two Leeds players with it. Rolled out towards the right, and now racing to get to it is Wienreuter. She keeps the play alive, as does Catherine Kuhl, who popped up for that set piece to get a touch to it. Here is Beattie. Wienreuter again. Williamson tried to find the gap. Catherine Smith headed clear. Ellis trying to get to it and keep hold of possession herself. Needs a helping hand from Hindle. She's going to have to go her own here. Listen, she's done very, very well to get out of a tight squeeze, and there Smith with a return pass. That's really good work from Leeds. Go long to Woodruff, and that pass needed to possibly be into her feet. And that's the difference between, trying to play on the counter. I thought Ellis did superbly well there, but I don't think she made a mistake with the pass. She's just trying to stretch the play, get Leeds on the attack. But in essence, the ball was given straight back to Arsenal.
Yeah, obviously from what we can see, I didn't know if there was many other options, but I thought she did extremely well to get out of that tight area. Obviously she had her back to the field, and she managed to get out of there really well.
Woodruff was the closest to her. Abby Brown's not had a sniff of the ball so far. She's done plenty of running backwards to help the Leeds cause, though. She's trying to help Danby Howe, who's the left wing back for Leeds today, as ball's cut in by Gio. Deflection, I think, off Danby, and it will be another corner where Leeds will be itching to right the wrongs from the last set piece. Dangerous ball in, well headed away by Woodruff. Ellis trying to get to it, Brown trying to get back. Arsenal on the attack, good block. Now Hamill tries to clear, a bit scrappy in there for Leeds. Danby a bit frustrated. You can see in her body language she wanted to do a bit better with that as Brown gets in. Arsenal are in behind those shots coming in, deflection. And Simpson is sighted really right at the last second. I think she thought that was going across at deflection, and it hits Simpson on the hand and goes in, and that's unfortunate for the Leeds keeper. And the pressure again tells on Arsenal double their advantage. I think it looked like Catherine Kuhl that went for it, and it was. And yeah, the deflection, Simpson seemed to have it covered, but once it hit the legs of Olivia Smart, she was then always second best.
Yeah, from that range and obviously the power from that shot, there's not much you can do there to readjust her feet to get behind that ball. Just another deflection.
It's back-to-back set pieces that Arsenal have worked into a good area, done something with. The first one was a direct goal from it, the second a little bit more patient build-up. And Williamson in possession now, 13 and a half gone. Striding over halfway, too easy to get in behind. Gio tries to cut the ball back, good defending from Price, and Simpson, important shout. No need to rush the clearance, and you can understand the tactics as well, though, Jodie, in terms of they've deployed the low block to try and make it as hard as possible for any gaps to be played into. But if you are then beaten, you're so negative to sit back. I do wonder if there'll be an approach when we push a little bit further forward, a little bit, try and I won't say fight fire with fire, but we're so camped in their own half that there is no response on the attack. It's very, very hard for Rick Passmore to see this. It could be as the game goes on, he becomes a bit more attacking, but Arsenal's array of passing so far has been so accurate. They're going wide, they're very happy to go wide and then cut the ball back in. They'll do so here again with Kuhl, and she heads straight into Simpson. But you can understand why it is so tough against the best team in this competition's history. Yeah,
well, when you're up against the likes of Jen Beattie and Leah Wilmson, and you're giving them the majority of the pitch to kind of run into before seeing any sort of defence, obviously it's quite frightening. And then they're able to get those intricate passes through down the flanks, like you say, and obviously through into the forwards' feet. You're starting to think about something different. Maybe think about pressing them a little bit, seeing if they make mistakes. Obviously they've got mistakes in themselves, so we'll see what happens in the next 25-30 minutes.
Arsenal now have a player down, which we hope is nothing serious. Danby and Olivia Smart having a debrief. Leonie Price, Rachel Hindle, Catherine Hamill having another debrief. So is Carrie Simpson. Abby Brown's having discussions. So we've got sections of the pitch having chats. We've got a left side between Smart, Danby and Brown. We have a defensive unit of Simpson, Hamill, Price and Hindle. And in fairness, these are quite important moments in a game where you're up against it, and you can do all the tactics you want in the world before the game, but nothing is better than realising what's going on live in front of you. So they might have noticed one or two different things where they can improve things for the next 10-15 minutes. And I think the main thing is the spirits have got to stay high, and this could be a tough scoreline to be on the end of. But so far, everyone seems to be as constructive, Jodie, as possible.
Yeah, if anything, you obviously want to learn from everything that you're going to come up against today. It's a huge experience for them. So obviously coming together, rejigging what might have been the game plan, might have to obviously rethink about some things, and obviously just regroup as a collective and see if we can put things right.
Simpson instructs everybody in the defence to move forward. Kick out wide, it will reach Ellis, who does well to bring it under control. Not the best pass to Price, and it was pounced upon. There is Daniel Witham, and we talk every week about how important her pace is to this Leeds team. Her arrival this year has been instrumental in what she's brought to the team, and that is another example of it, just when Leeds thought they were under trouble, with Caitlin Ford racing through. Witham shuts it down, but they're under pressure again. Hindle works her way out wide to try and get to it. He does take a touch off the Leeds number 20. That will allow Ellis to get to it. She takes a risk, and she does well to win a goal kick. And it's a good battle between Ellis and Steph Catley on that far wing. And inside the first 18 minutes, it is Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0. Not the best time, just thinking as well, not the best time to have to try a new formation playing against one of the best teams in England. So the familiarity, this Arsenal team training every day, it is going to be hard work for Leeds in that department, trying to learn things, learn where each other are going to be throughout the game, try not to lose your discipline and come out of position. And so far defensively, they've done their best to keep them at bay. It's 2 goals so far. Kuhl with 1, Ford with the opener. Passmore trying to guide his team around the park, and Arsenal are just trying to set traps, wait for the players to come forward. Woodruff is so far back, she's near the edge of the Leeds box, stood next to the referee. They're in behind again. Leeds under pressure. Brown races across, gets an important touch to it. Again, the fans appreciate her effort. It's been really the pattern of the game. Arsenal very patient, but they're beating any offside trap. They're in behind every time. They're going wide, and then that's when the cutback's coming in.
Yeah, they'll be well rehearsed. Obviously, they know when to set off. The flight of the ball to get through. They'll obviously know each other really well. Full-time club. I think Leeds are doing quite well here, just to keep them at bay.
Yeah, confidence-wise, it'd be good to clear this. Last 2 corners have brought about a goal to the far post. Arsenal miss it. It was with Beattie, who was trying to get to the ball. Arsenal say the throw-in is theirs. Leeds get the decision. And Arsenal's players, we know, are elite, the best of the best, one of the best teams in the world, but don't understand the rules. Very clear throw-in. We'll take that all day. Hindle needs a helping hand and gets it from Smith, who will clear for territory and clear again, but it's only really to recycle for Arsenal with Williamson. Into Kuhl, who will once again just keep it simple. And Wienreuter down the line looking for Caitlin Ford. Carrying it towards the edge of the Leeds box. Williamson, I thought, was going to shoot. She was encouraged to do so. The ball is in there with Hamill. Leeds have to try and scrap it away. Price to Hindle. Hindle trying to keep it simple and look for a pass as Catherine Smith clears out towards the left. And clearing to the wings is one area that Leeds can enjoy some freedom, because they've got Brown and Ellis out there, but they're pretty much playing as centre midfielders in this game. But I did at least like the first clearance out. It wasn't rushed. It was, let's try and play it out from the back. But the Arsenal movement is superb. And the one thing I will notice is, I like to draw like a mental picture in my head of where the players are going to be for the opposition. 9 times out of 10 in Leeds' league, you know where the players are for 10 minutes. This Arsenal midfield are never in the same spot. They're moving, they're fluid. It must be so hard for Leeds' players to keep track.
Yeah, if you switch off for one moment, you don't have a clue where the player is. They're just absolutely brilliant at the movement, on and off the ball. Constant movement, like you say.
Yeah, the only 2 constants I've had so far are Beattie or 3 constants. There's the keeper, Beattie, and Williamson, who haven't moved out of positions. Williamson is here again. Nearly halfway through this first half, Leeds digging in as best they possibly can. Now this is the highest up the pitch they've won the ball. Witham rolls it to Woodruff, who was trying to knock it back. Witham expected a deeper pass, at least for Leeds' midfield. They do win it back, and Price will try and get there to stop the ball in behind, but it's cut inside. Here is Gio. Across comes Olivia Smart. She at least forces the cross to be delayed. Leeds have to make sure they get back in their structure, which they've done so. Danby's filled in. Here's Williamson. Behind again, Hamill's trying to cover, didn't commit to the ball. Will she regret that decision? It's far post. Here is Gio. Shot's going to come in. It's blocked by Brown. She can't concede a penalty. That's good work. And there is Daniel Witham. Touch though intercepted straight away, but she goes and recovers. Brown gets it again. That section of the Leeds crowd delighted, and Brown clears. And that is some good teamwork, some great defending, covering each other's backs. Can't ask for much more.
No, and obviously, like you say, they're aiming for the wide areas, clearing the ball. So you've got to have Arsenal working back as well. Just like to see some of Leeds' attacking players a bit further up the field as we move into these minutes of the game.
Yeah, Brown picks it up, tries to keep hold of possession. And here is Danby to clear. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Because I think even if Leeds committed their wingers further forward, would Arsenal, knowing the players they've got on the ball, go match them? They wouldn't, would the 2 fullbacks, you could try and do it that way, I guess. Could you put the 2 players further up so the fullbacks wouldn't have as much joy? It's fine margins when you're looking at it, and Rick Passmore has set his game plan. This is what he feels will cause Arsenal the most trouble, and at least give Leeds the best chance of keeping them at bay as long as they can for as minimum goals as they can, as Williamson gets to it.
I think the last thing Leeds want is to isolate players, match up against the Arsenal players. This is probably the best game plan, especially to start the first half.
Yeah, definitely so. I think, we might get that freedom I mentioned earlier in the second, as Witham wants to try and win the ball back. She races down the touchline. And Leeds, just as we pass the halfway point, that is the highest they've had the ball in the Arsenal half. And again, she's feeding off scraps there, Daniel Witham. You've got to keep it in. And that's when you can tell the fitness levels of this Arsenal group. 2 or 3 players working in bunches together. And so well drilled. One of the best teams, not only in England in the women's game, but in the world. And witnessing some of the best players in the women's game right in front of our eyes today, as Leeds camping in there, very narrow as it stands. Now Danby stretches out a little bit to try and stop the cross. Ellis needs a little bit of help out here on the right. She races across to try and help out. Catherine Smith is nearby. Now Smith commits, but not too far. Leeds certainly know their roles today. Williamson might even have a shot from range. She's certainly looking at it now. She floats the cross in. Hindle clears, but not far enough, and Kuehl could try and knock it back. And they keep it with Pelova back into Beattie. Williamson in behind, tracked all the way by Smart. Does well to not concede a penalty. Gio was showing plenty of pace. The back heel up the line towards Victoria Pelova. Out to Williamson again, who just keeps it so calm. No sign of any panic or anything heroic as they hook it away. Ellis just trying to concede the corner, and it is tough work out there with 25 minutes gone. But Leeds, so far, defending to the best of their ability. I think you're right, Jodie, about the point about being one-on-one against a player that can beat you. Leeds have managed to actually work as little groups together. The curling ball in. Beattie with the header straight into Simpson. And you can see the corner routine plan they've got. Beattie wins the first. They flick it on and hope for a touch first, but Carrie Simpson wins it immediately and just tries to encourage everybody forward. But set pieces wise, Arsenal so well drilled, and they've dominated so far.
Yeah, I think obviously both their goals have come from that. Unfortunately, there have been more deflections than a well-worked goal. But we'll just stop here just so we see.
It's Ford on the attack. leading towards Pelova. Price has got to be careful. She was dangling the leg out, and Ellis tries to get goal side. One thing I noticed as well is there's been barely any free kicks. That energy levels that Leeds have got will have to be tapped into. There were some tired players out there today. Arsenal, of course, a well-drilled machine, continued to pile forward. But Passmore, you just saw some signals, and maybe just try to push out a little bit further. Williamson rolls it inside. Kim Little with the touch. She's just directing midfield traffic from afar. Price, Hamill has to race across. That's a deflection off an Arsenal player and unable to be brought under control, and Leeds will get a breather.
Yeah, I think even at this top level that Arsenal are at, there's still obviously mistakes in them, so hopefully we can see a bit more up the field pressure from Leeds as we get into this second half of the first.
Nothing was looking for Hindle with a return pass. Arsenal smother any mistake again. Now charging forward. Catley, wide left to McCabe, into Kim Little, and back to Beattie again. No doubt she will look across for Williamson, and she does. Williamson further down the line towards the right hand side. Gio occupying the space there, back to Williamson. Leeds will try and cover. Wasted ball in from Williamson, an arm up to apologise from her as Woodruff picks out Ellis. But this is where the game plan is falling apart for Leeds. Defensively, it's making a lot tougher for Arsenal than they would like. But there is no outball whatsoever.
Yeah, obviously they do so well to work as a unit to deny Arsenal's attack, but then obviously there's nothing to go for moving forward.
Back it goes from Little to Beattie. Catherine Smith watching her all the way. Williamson. Gio running at Danby. Ball flicked back by QL. Wienrotter. McCabe. Leeds intercept now with Smith, just trying to lure in the Arsenal players. Ellis, risky pass, really risky, and a few of her teammates just frustrated with that. It's the first, I think, real costly error from Leeds where there's no thought behind it. Only Price dives in and wins the battle, rolls it down the line to Brown, but it's just too far in front. The referee will have a look at the Arsenal player who certainly come off second best in the challenge, and it was, you can immediately felt the contact. The only Price is a big figure in that midfield. She doesn't miss when it comes to challenging, and it was certainly a challenge that was there to be won. Looking at the replay suggests that she didn't get the ball, in fact, the only Price. So the Arsenal player with the right to be in a bit of discomfort, Laura Wienroiter. But then again, we saw an example of great defensive work, albeit a little fortunate, and then the pass was just too strong. And it's a day for the forwards to try and be as patient as possible.
I think patience is the word, definitely. A lot of running and a lot of patience.
Yeah, there'll be other league games for Leeds' forwards to get their goals. Brown, Woodruff, Ellis. Coincidentally, Leeds have started to tumble down the division they're in this season, but don't worry, nothing to do with form. They've just not played as Danby flies a challenge into the Arsenal player. Gio with a cross, free header. Simpson, top save. Now can they get the ball away? They can get a goal kick. Well, Carrie Simpson has made a terrific save to keep it at 2-0 here. Half an hour gone. And again, that section of the ground really applauding the work that Leeds are doing defensively. And to make that save in front of a passionate end of supporters across the goal, top work from Carrie Simpson.
Yeah, I think she did really well there to watch the ball fully. Obviously, I don't know if Kath Hamill was in her eyesight, but she did extremely well there to keep the ball out.
Headed away by Beattie. Seemed to maybe catch it down the side of the temple more than anything else as Catherine Smith steps up. Arsenal exploit the gap with Little, just striding forward into McCabe. Cross comes in, handball appeals. Referee turns away and denies any of them. Leeds again smother whatever they can. Rick Passmore will once more try to keep his team under control. Arsenal only lost 2 of the last 10 in all competitions. Same record at home, so they are one of the best teams in the world. Pardon me. They're playing like it recently as well. Won as recently as Thursday in the Conti Cup. As Gio gets the ball, rolls it back up the line towards Williamson, rolls it out of her feet. Good ball in, was needed. Smart gets to it. 2 Leeds players go for the same ball. Woodruff with the header clear only as far as Beattie. Midfield line of Ellis, Smith, Price, Witham. It's very, very rigid as it stands. Williamson again never goes for that risky shot, never goes for that shot which suggests she's a little bit bored of what's going on. It's always well thought out, clinical. As QL comes forward, a crafty Marseille on the edge of the box. Ellis steps up, leads, so can't be guilty of giving away a free kick. Ellis gets across, but she's intercepted immediately by Steph Catley. And it's just suffocating this from Arsenal. And it's so effective. And Leeds can clear through Smart. And while it's a biased watch, we would want to see Leeds win this 3-2. One of the greatest days we can have in the women's coverage. It would be amazing. It's also, in a weird way, enjoyable to watch Arsenal, isn't it? In terms of how they do things, the level that Leeds one day want to, explore to be at, whether they can play them on a regular basis and be in that same league. And it's a bit of a footballing lesson, but Leeds are really giving themselves a chance to get some real credit from this performance. They haven't given goals away. They were a bit disappointed with the first with the set piece, but the second was unfortunate. Everything else after that has been extremely hard work for Arsenal, who have enjoyed the possession. The stats will not make for pretty reading, but the scoreline suggests that Leeds have done well enough to keep Arsenal at bay for the majority of this first half. McCabe waits and waits. It's just a training sort of exercise, attack and defence as it currently stands, as Williamson again, just incredible pass out wide to Gio. Simpson, good hands necessary as well, because that was going to be awkward. But the NFL playoffs continue tonight. Quarterbacks will be the centre of attention. Leah Williamson has that sort of aura about her. It's just, let me see the field, let me make the pass. And she's just incredible. It makes it everything very simple, but her thought process, the way she assesses the field, is just second to none.
Yeah, and obviously we'll have that all day here, especially with no pressure on. But hopefully we'll see some sort of changes coming to the end of the first half, maybe in the second half. When Leeds tire, see if they can give something, have Arsenal something to think about, and make it a bit more of an exciting game. And obviously a low block is very difficult to play for the full 90 minutes, especially against a team like this.
Certainly is, as Arsenal come forward once more. Lay the ball back into McCabe, who picks out QL. Williamson was just about to step up alongside her. Wienreuter goes back to QL. With Woodruff, Smith, all in there, but it's eventually out towards Ellis, who is possibly the only Leeds player that has had any joy to try and just have 10 seconds on the ball just to assess what she wants to do with it.
Yeah, I think when Leeds have found her, she had some great touches to keep the ball under control, and then obviously a second to look up and see if there's any option, but there's not been many, unfortunately.
Out towards the first goal scorer, Caitlin Ford. Back out to Beattie, who again is just looking around the pitch, assessing everything she wants to do. Again with Beattie. Gio smothered again by Danby. Good work from her. Flick on over the top from Arsenal. Danby has to get across. She does. Gio looked like a handball though for me. Gio turns inside. The officials haven't spotted it. Now running through. Leeds do well to not let that affect them too much and get across in the nick of time. Williamson inside towards Little, who carries the ball so well. That nearly goes in, and Carrie Simpson dives to her left-hand side. She saw it so late. That was supposed to be a pass. Overhit by Little. Nearly ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think she did really well to get down there. Obviously, you said it seems like she sees it very late. Got quite a bit of pace on it as well. A great hand.
Waiting for the delivery from Arsenal. This is where they've been so strong all day long. All delivered towards the edge of the penalty area for Leeds. They're trying to get out there and push. Olivia Smart the closest to it.
A great head out there from Emma Woodruff.
To the far post, overlap, Simpson, tremendous save, the best of the lot. Fired at her by Caitlin Ford. And those supporters behind the goal have given Carrie Simpson every encouragement she needs today. She does a pat on the back for that save. She comes off the line again, great shout. And the contingent behind the goal have enjoyed what they've seen of Carrie Simpson in net, because that just wants to say 3-0, to be honest. Caitlin Ford in the right position, Carrie Simpson across her goal, and proving that she can belong and play at a higher level as possible. Top work from the goalkeeper. She's made 3 or 4 massive saves so far, Jodie.
Yeah, especially at that range there. Barely even 10 yards away from a smashed half volley. Managed to keep it out of the net. And away danger for the second rebound.
Little trying to assess the field again. Looks out wide. Ford is in there. Danby with a touch only slows Arsenal down. It's good work though, because the pressure tells, and Laura Wienreuter touches it behind, and will carry Simpson not only for her own good, to take her own breather. We'll try and take a little bit of time off the clock here for the Leeds players in front of her. And just calming everything down as best she possibly can. Clearance, 3 Leeds players, not for the same ball. They get away with it though to Woodruff, who is tremendously strong, Amy Woodruff, towards Brown. A rare touch for Abby Brown, but look at the work she's got to do. She wins a throw, but you say it is a cliche, it's about, you know, players on the pitch. It does seem like Arsenal have got 16, 17 players. I mean, 3 midfielders surrounding Abby Brown. And if Leeds can score today, it would be some work, because they've not had an inch of space all afternoon. And again, last few throw-ins that haven't gone to plan. Arsenal have smothered immediately. Ball behind, and Catherine Hamill just mops it up and keeps it under control. Straight away by Williamson. Hindle's got work to do. Smith gets her pass wrong. She was looking for Ellis. She didn't want to put too much power on it. Instead, she put barely any power on that ball. And it's unfortunate for Leeds that they've coughed it up. Back into Little. Whipped into the far post. Again, bodies queuing. And Arsenal haven't got their bearings right on that occasion. Fired wide. But another chance goes begging.
Yeah, I think obviously we're quite lucky there. She didn't get much of a connection on that. Otherwise, she'd have had a clear shot at goal.
Throw in for Leeds. Woodruff for the ball inside again, just too powerful. Alice was there. Now Woodruff does get to it, but Arsenal once more, once they realise the danger, are in within a second.
So a little bit more pressure from Leeds there. That was quite positive. I know obviously Arsenal are down the wing yet again.
Certainly are. We'll break off, because here come Arsenal laid back. Witham, if she can just get across, she does. Not sure she needed to slide in there, Daniel Witham. I think she did the right thing. She cleared it. Doesn't matter, but I think she didn't realise how much time she might have had if she could have just got there, and she could have turned around on that ball. But again, it's very, very tough to notice what is coming. As here comes Williamson. A return pass idea. Hamill gets there. Price gets there. Here is Catherine Smith, and Smith tries to roll it out. This time to the right-hand side, and it's just too far for Ellis. And again, Rick Passmore is just trying to tell her, get back, get covering. That is the aim of the game for this first 45 minutes. And Leeds just not have any opportunity to showcase what they can do on the ball. And they're defending as best they possibly can. Danby racing back. Must be so tiring for the Leeds players to just be mentally switched on as well. Woodruff is now a centre midfielder. Doing quite well there as well. And, you know, covering ground, trying to be the stronger of the Leeds midfielders. Anytime she can hold up the play, she's doing what she can.
think she's done really well with the defensive headers, and she's obviously given Kim Little something to think about.
All whipped in. Arsenal player going for it. Deflects off Hindle. Hooked away by Hamill. Back out. Towards the left-hand side, Leeds under tremendous pressure. Penalty, and that's a contentious call for Leeds. Well, Hindle's frustration, it went down the left-hand side. Leeds were hoping to get away with it. And it goes in early. There has been a couple of close calls. Looking at the replay, that is a close call. I think there's contact, but that ball takes a big old deflection, Jodie. That suggests to me that I think Hindle could have got a touch to that.
It's either that or it's come straight off the shin. Either way, she's not got control of the ball.
Yeah, frustration indeed. It looks to be then that Kim Little to take this penalty. Carrie Simpson has kept Arsenal at bay as many times as she possibly can. Can she do it enough to ensure that it might be 2-0 at half-time? The referee just tells Danby, Brown and Smart to not overstep the mark. Will they be required, though, to do some defending? It's up to Carrie Simpson. I think Little will go for power here. She's seen Simpson's ability. She sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's a good penalty. It's decisive, it's powerful. She picked her spot, and that is the third goal. I don't want to say it's a sour note because we know the levels and the class that Arsenal have got, but a couple more minutes at 2-0, and that would have been a tremendous first half for the level we're playing at. I still don't think 3-0's a bad scoreline for Rick Passmore's side, considering it has just been 43 minutes of defending.
Yeah, I think they've shown how disciplined they are, and obviously how well they can work together as a team with defensive units, the two banks, and obviously Amy Woodruff just in front covering. I think they've done themselves proud here. So the goals are not being as well worked from an Arsenal side. It's been more deflections, set pieces, and obviously an interesting call for a penalty. It wasn't obvious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those, you might get a split opinion on it, might you? The fact that it's from behind, some will say that's dangerous and a bit risky, so it's a penalty. Others will say that there was a touch to the ball, and regardless of what everyone says, the referee's opinion is the only one that matters. And with a minute or two before half-time, Arsenal have a 3-goal lead, and they are thanks to goals inside 10 minutes from Ford, then a goal 3 minutes later from QL, and we've had 30-minute gaps between the second and the third. Hopefully more of the same here, though, because Arsenal are in behind. Gio gets across, and it's blocked by Smart, then by Danby, and it's behind for a corner. But that has been something we've pretty much seen on repeat. Ball wide, ball in behind, cross. It might be 30 times we've seen it.
Yeah, I think there's so much joy, so much space that they've had on the wings. Obviously they're very good at getting those passes into the middle, but there's just so much space for them out wide.
And here is Hindle, just trying to keep possession, looking for Woodruff. It's behind her. Passmore, the Leeds coach, he's waving his arms around on the touchline, just trying to organise something to keep Arsenal at bay as long as he can for a fourth. In behind again. That's the spot. Williamson now charging as far forward as possible. Hindle, another dangerous tackle. It's deflected and it'll fall all the way out to Woodruff, who is just going to clear and play it out for a throw-in. And when you look down the pitch and Beat is stood there and ready to mop it up, I don't think there's much surprise behind that ball was played where it was. So stoppage time awaits. And another thing to note as well is with Arsenal on the attack is the size of the pitch compared to the one that Leeds will play on at Tadcast. That as they're in behind here, Arsenal header comes in and it's behind, got the bearings wrong. So don't know what has been taken out of those Leeds United Women's players' legs, the energy levels they've got left. But nearly there for the first half in this fourth round of the FA Cup away at Arsenal.
I think playing in a low block, obviously, to keep you focused, be switched on for the whole 90 minutes or 45. I think it does take a lot out of you. So obviously to keep those energy levels up, I think it's asking a lot of the players, and against a side like Arsenal, you just need to think about the occasion, think about the experience, and just give it your all.
Williamson, so smart in possession again, plays it forward into the middle of the park and allows Arsenal to attack again with Little. Beatty's force wide, but she gets there. into Williamson again. She goes over the top, it's overhit. She tried to just maybe float it, dig it out of the ground and play it into her teammate, but not to be, and Simpson will do her best to take a bit of time off the clock once again. Been the best player for Leeds so far, Carrie Simpson. Free kick given, and that might be one of the first free kicks in the entire game. It has been so open, Leeds haven't had the chance to get close to Arsenal at times, but you do sometimes wonder if that would have been a better approach. The stop-startness of it might have been slowed Arsenal down a little bit. We will not know, of course, but a welcome free kick for Leeds. Referee spotted it right from the off. Looking for Woodruff, just left, and a couple of bits of confusion. I think the Arsenal defender did the right thing. Abby Brown was coming in behind. It's the furthest forward they've had the chance to push. Danby on the ball now. Brown's asking for it in behind. She delayed the pass. She just wasn't sure about the execution. Could have she have been offside. That is what happens when you're playing against one of the best teams in England, the best team in this competition's history. If you waste any seconds, you will no longer have the ball, and it's Arsenal Women 3, Leeds United Women 0 at half-time at Meadow Park. Ford, QL and Little with the goals. Jodie, it's been as tough as ever, as we expected defensively. They showed real bravery, good 30-minute chunk without conceding. I think from your perspective, second half, you just want to see a little bit more attacking.
Yeah, obviously, we knew what to expect first half. We're going to go into a low block, obviously see what Arsenal have to offer and just see how we match up against them. But hopefully we can see a bit more of a football inside from Leeds in the second half.
Hopefully is the word. So we'll join us around 15 minutes time for the second half coverage, as Arsenal Women will try and extend their lead. Leeds hoping to reduce the deficit. It's 3-0. welcome back to LUTV's coverage of this FA Cup Women's contest. Arsenal's team nearly ready to go, albeit looking rather cold as they approach this second half. Let's hope they've not had the heating on at Boreham Wood and the players are a little bit cold at the start of the second half and Leeds can get a goal back. Because as it stands at half-time, it's 3-0 to Arsenal. And Rick Passmore's side conceding 2 inside 13 minutes. The 10th minute goal from Caitlin Ford, and then the next one from Catherine Kuel in the 13th minute. But then a 30-minute window where Leeds kept them at bay, offered very little, if not anything, on the front foot, such is the magnitude of this tie this afternoon. Such a tough day at the office, but Leeds will have to play a different 11 in the second half. It looks like Arsenal are making 3 changes. Of course, they have got other competitions to play in. They only played on Thursday in the Conti Cup. Myself, Tom Hill and Jodie Hunter will bring you all the action as per usual, as we are getting a sign of some of those subs then for Arsenal. And who is going to come on? So that is Frida Manum. First of all was, I think, number 7, so that should be Lena Hurtig. And we'll get confirmation of those changes for you. But Jodie, it was, as we expected, very, very tough against the best team in this competition in the history, one of the best teams in England. And you said right from the very first minute today, totally expect a very tough day, but if we can at least have some joy in the front foot, that'd make you quite happy as a part of this group. How are we going to see it?
I'm not too sure. Obviously we've got some fresh legs coming on from Arsenal, so we'll see if they change up things from what we've seen in the first half, see if Leeds can get a little bit more joy. Obviously not sure what team talk was, but I'm sure it would have been that he was very proud of his players, how disciplined they were, how they worked well together, to keep it at 2-0 for majority of that first half. You'd be very proud of your team against Arsenal here. So hopefully we see some more energy into the legs of Leeds. The low block, it's going to take a majority of the energy you've got from you to kind of keep Arsenal in front of you for that length of time, but we'll hopefully see some bursts of energy from them.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So the changes for Arsenal, by the way, they have sent on several of them. We'll get them confirmed in a second for you as Arsenal do start another attack. Wide from Wienreiter. Into Frida Manu. That is one of the subs. A beautiful ball in behind. Leeds caught out at the back. A header opportunity and a header wide, and 2 Leeds players rushing across to put the pressure on Victoria Belova, who couldn't steer the header home. And again, that low block penetrated easily enough by a ball out wide, just about kept in. And Arsenal with the free header. So the subs on: Lottie Wubenwhite, Frida Manum, Lena Hurtig, Emma Stina Blackstennis. And they have replaced, we believe, Leo Williamson, Kim Little, Caitlin Ford and Gio Queiroz. So that's the changes that have been identified by Arsenal. So you've got pretty much the spine of what they had out there, but we are talking about, as you identified before kickoff, one of the best teams in the world. The squad depth they have, they'll just think, right, next player up, we go again, fresh minutes, chance for other players to impress and get some goals to their tally for the year. They come again on the left-hand side. There's been no let-up from Arsenal as Witham clears, and that was Black Dennis that was getting to the touchline and crossing. And it appears to be as we were in terms of Leeds' low block. I think we probably expected it for 5 or 10 minutes the second half. You don't want to give too much away, especially with the changes. Will the changed formation, Arsenal? Rick Passmore at least will want to be looking at what is to come. Lena Hurtig keeps possession. Frida Manum goes for goal. One of the first Arsenal players to shoot from range in that sort of area. They've normally been quite patient. They're in behind again. Hamill reads it, gets across. And here is Ellis trying to pick a pass. She has to come wide. She's being tracked all the time by the Arsenal midfield. She runs into traffic, and Steph Catley for Arsenal, the number 7, was just biding her time, waiting for the mistake, and Arsenal mop up and start again. Here is Wubenwhite in possession. Wide she goes. Danby flies in with a challenge. She's just a whisker away, so Arsenal come forward again. Still the attack, Arsenal. And out wide once more. And Ruben White faced up by Brown. Brown tries to fly in with a challenge, but she just can't get to it either. Beattie tutted from the Arsenal attacker, which was Perlova, who was one of those players that just seemingly popped up everywhere in that first half, and now with them, Rate is out. It's almost like there's a shield at the edge of that centre circle, though, and Leeds can't go forward without the ball, so she has to retreat and go back. Arsenal at the minute just toying with this Leeds midfield. It's with Beattie. Again, they're stepping up to Hindle. She noticed the danger coming. Catherine Smith couldn't react in time. Arsenal from right to left, from left to right. It's all about patience as they fly out again from Olivia Smart. But we went through it in the first half, just how dominant Arsenal have been. Leeds have not been able to put 3 passes together all afternoon, and defending as best they possibly can. To the byline they go, all the way across the face, and it's going to trickle out on that far side for a throw-in, which was probably the best result for Leeds when they're considering, Jodie, where Leeds were, where Arsenal were. That ball in, it's an absolute peach across the face of goal. It's begging for a touch. Luna Hurtig's cross, nobody in red ready to tap it home.
Yeah, and luckily for Leeds, obviously it did go out for a throw-in. We did have quite a few bodies in there to block anything, but when a ball's whipped in there, it could be a bad touch from anyone and into the goal, so thankful for that one.
Ball deflected behind by Smart. It will be a corner, where Arsenal dominated in the first half. Another corner to come. So Macy Ellis is the one on the edge of the area. She's got 2 players to watch out for. She's looking over her shoulder as the ball is whipped in. Another header, and Ruben White over the top. And again, you can see the difference of a team that is so well drilled, quite simply trains every day, practices this, the corners, the set pieces. They've met nearly every ball today, Arsenal. And Carrie Simpson just gives a word of encouragement or two as her team make it out towards midfield on the edge of the box.
I think we've seen quite a bit of joy from Leeds from the kick of Carrie Simpson. Obviously it's just making it stick and seeing where it goes from there. Just getting a bit higher up the pitch.
It reminded the Leeds bench. Baycock, Williams, May Underdown, Hannon, Martins and Robson. We know Bradley Hannon, end of last year, had an injury that she was having to contend with, so she'll be hoping to get back in the team later down the line. Price gets the ball back, gives it to Brown, but she can't keep hold of it. Abby Brown clearly motivated enough to try and get back. She's put on her backside by a beautiful bit of skill from Arsenal, and she just felt the effect. I think she maybe rolled the ankle in the mud, and she's hopefully going to be able to continue. Leeds have to plough on though and get back defensively. Hindle steps up. Second time in a row Rachel Hindle's read the play really well and just concedes a throw, and now we break for the incident to Abby Brown, who is at least back on her feet. And she says she's good to go. Good hands from Simpson, who again has been the standout player for Leeds. When your keeper is your standout player, tells you the afternoon that your team has had. I think we expected that Carrie Simpson would have more work to do than anybody, but I think the thing that she should be most proud about as well is the occasion doesn't seem to have bothered her one bit. She seems to have actually savoured what's been coming at her and enjoyed the battle.
Yeah, I think she's done really well. Obviously, like you say, she knows it's going to be a very tough afternoon for her and the team in front of her. Obviously working tirelessly, but she's obviously the last one of defence, and she's done extremely well to keep a team at such a low score against Arsenal. If we take the penalty out, I think I'd be very happy with the 2-0.
Yeah, I think Rick Passmore would have been as well. I think the team would have been, to be 2-0 down. And you're playing against one of the best teams in the WSL. The record holders of the FA Cup. They've won it an incredible 14 times. Runners up on 3 occasions. Leeds have never beaten Arsenal in any game of women's football. It might be a few years until they do, but this is the level that they want to aspire to be at as they get back defensively. Ellis trying to stop Hurtig's cross. She does enough to put her off, and the deflection goes straight to Simpson. And again, Macy Ellis working extra hard to stop a simple cross, make it look difficult. And we're into the second half. And again, the spirits of the players look high. They're well aware of the task ahead. Jodie, what was the mood like in camp? It seemed, every interview, the exposure the team got was superb. They were on, national television, plenty of coverage on the Leeds website, lots of, players, interviews. It seemed like there was just a general buzz and just real excitement to say not only have they got to this level of the competition where they deserve to be after the results, but they can say they played against, European champions in Williamson, and it seemed like everyone was flying high this week.
I think, that's what the FA Cup does, isn't it? It gives a sense of belief to any team in the competition. We've come up against teams in the league above in the last couple of games, so obviously it's just building that confidence and taking each opportunity and each experience and just going with it. Obviously, enjoy it and just see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully Leeds can enjoy the experience today. A goal, I'm sure, would put plenty of smiles on faces if they get the opportunity. They haven't had a touch really in the Arsenal half, though. It'll take a big turnaround for that to happen as Brown tries to come forward. She's just out-muscled off the ball. Woodruff steps up, but she's not quick enough to get there. And Beattie, again, the player keeping responsibility of the ball at the back. Hurtig's got in behind, not for the first time today, but she's got her execution wrong on the shot. She was attempting, I think she was attempting to hit that with the outside of the boot across the face. Instead, she hit it with the instep and hit it well wide. But it has been the blueprint of the game. Arsenal have played like that diagonal ball from centre of the pitch out wide to the fullbacks or the wide midfielders. Leeds have got a back 3 and then a midfield 6, how it feels. And that's how they've gone in behind. And I'm sure they'd have found a way, Arsenal, with a back 4. That's just how it would have been. But I do wonder if a back 4 would have stopped that route, where they could have gone. As Ellis races forward, this is the most ambition Leeds have been able to show on the ball today. They've got towards the edge of the penalty box. She's scrapping away to try and get it back, Ellis. She's racing away with the number 7, Steph Catley, who has done very, very well to ensure that Arsenal's clean sheet is intact. But a sign for those Arsenal fans that don't know much about this Leeds team, what Macy Ellis is all about. Pace, power, determination to get forward.
Yeah, I think determination is one thing I would say about her. She's obviously got the pace, which is brilliant. She does use it very well, but I think she's just always willing to fight for every single ball that she gets. She's continuously trying to find a way out. Obviously, we saw her down in the defensive corner, and she managed to get a way out. Back there, she was just giving her everything just to not give up a loose ball. And I think we won't stop seeing that from her today.
McCabe, Arsenal just plotting their latest attack. Belova gets towards the bar line. She's trying for a return past the edge of the box. Arsenal have that many bodies that they can recycle and start again. Ruben Moy was going to be floated in by Catley. It's a great ball in. Offside trap is beaten. The shot comes in and it's a poor one from Victoria Pelova, who's seen plenty of the ball in the second half and possibly had a bit more time than she even realised, Jodie.
Yeah, I think it was a close one if she was onside. I know she obviously ran across the line of defence, but I think the composure there, I was expecting to see something on target.
For Simpson's goal kick up towards Witham, who has not been able to show anything she can do in possession. She's normally the keen runner from midfield. Quick turn of feet that she can get forward to help out as challenge comes in. It was a late one. It's going to be a corner. There wasn't enough contact from Hindle on Blacksteiners, but her pace has got her in behind, and there's an issue with the Leeds defender who maybe has come off second better. She's put her foot on the floor. She did slide in, and yeah, there's maybe a left knee that she's picked up, and she did look down at that immediately, and she's just felt the effects of it. She's going to be able to continue for now. She one of those players that at the start of the year, I think if we'd have had to write our 11 for Leeds Women, she wouldn't have been in it at right back, but the last few weeks she's been superb when we've been able to watch her in action. To the far post again, Arsenal, free header, and nobody jumping for Leeds, and it's just powered home from Hurtig. Brilliant header, execution-wise, ball in. We've been saying it all day about the strength of Arsenal at set pieces, and the well-oiled machine continues, but that is how you header a ball from a set piece. Decisive, powerful, and more importantly for Carrie Simpson to be helpless into the floor.
Yeah, I think she comes from quite a deep area towards the back post and obviously meets it with quite pace, and obviously she jumps higher than any Leeds defender to win that ball. Heads it down into the floor, which makes it very difficult for a goalkeeper, even of Carrie Simpson.
Danby to take the latest throw. Rick Passmore giving a few instructions out down the line. Wonder if one or two of his subs, I think a few notes are being given out now for who could come on as Alice. I thought she'd done the right thing there as well. Dropped the shoulder, I thought she was about to play the pass. Sad thing is Arsenal have read it like a book as they fly forward. Price misses the challenge. Here come the Gunners on the attack. It's into the feet of Blacksteiner. She just doesn't get the power. Great run from Frida Marnham through the heart of this Leeds midfield. Still only 4-0 though.
I think just going back to the goals as well, I'm surprised we haven't actually seen a well-worked goal from Arsenal. Thought they would be a little bit more clinical. They've obviously had joy of getting the passes through the Leeds defence, you know, going wide, getting some crosses in, but it's only been set pieces that we've actually seen them convert from.
Yeah, first one, header, and then deflected in after the smothering Carrie Simpson. Second came from a corner which was cleared out and then put back into the penalty, then a penalty, then that one from another set piece. It's not worked well from open play. They've worked well as a team, pardon me, as a set piece, but I can see your point, Jodie. It hasn't been too difficult for Leeds in open play at times. Arsenal, though, could be setting traps, of course. This is a team that mean business. We might be about to see them really start to click in those areas. They've shown real threats of doing so. I guess it's hard as well when you've just got a sea of blue and yellow shirts around you on the edge of the box. Again, that's an example there. Catherine Hamill didn't do that much, but the fact that she was there meant the touch had to be perfect. It wasn't. And it is still Arsenal 4, Leeds 0. I think at this stage as well, it's the sentimental side, I think, will come out in Rick Passmore. He's put a team out there that he hoped to frustrate Arsenal, but the bench, you know, players that will get the chance to say they played against Arsenal, watch them on telly in years to come. I played against her. There'll be a few subs that want to get an opportunity. I think they're about to start being enrolled onto the pitch as well, as Arsenal with McCabe, who was effective on the left. She's now moved centrally. Beattie further wide into midfield, nearly falling over. It was Marna, but she recovered her balance and starts again to the far post. Simpson, good hands, wasn't pristine, didn't catch it on the fly, but dangerous ball in. Arsenal player right underneath her throat, watched it all the way, patted it down, and we'll say effective enough from Carrie Simpson as she needs the shoelaces retying. Looks to be Sarah Danby that's been employed as her assistant. And another breather for Leeds. So we are half an hour left. Passmore's side trying to keep this scoreline as respectable as possible before matters turn to other competitions, county cups, the league. And I wonder as well, Jodie, what the group will learn from this going forward as a team. You know, being up close and personal with an Arsenal outfit like this, what they can take into this going forward to their league campaign.
Yeah, I think obviously in this style of play that they've worked on so well, and obviously the discipline that's coming through them, the team today. I think it just shows that they are capable of doing something that takes a lot of discipline, a lot of focus, working as a team. If one player's out of position, then it throws everything off. So I think it just shows a different kind of form of play that Leeds are capable of, especially without the ball for so long.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier about like a suffocating sort of feeling. That's how Arsenal have played today. Sarah Danby wrestling away to get the ball clear and then ended up not able to clear it and falls over. Gives away a throw in. Arsenal, the shot's going to come in. Venomous efforts from Messina Blacksteiners, but too powerful. Her last shot was weak. That one, the total opposite. Thankfully for Leeds, both efforts wide or easily into the hands of Carrie Simpson. That one was over. And the changes are starting to be made for Leeds United Women. So Rick Passmore not only gives other players a chance to play in this tie, he freshens up the team. So the first is Savannah Robson for Hindle. Could well be a like-for-like swap, that. Paige Williams, who can play further out wide, will come on. She does prefer to play in the middle, though. When she joined us on LUTV earlier this season, she did say that was her preferred role. She wanted to be a bit more of a playmaker. She will get the chance to start in the middle. Feature in the middle today. And we've got 2 fresh sets of legs, Jodie, which is quite important at this stage.
Yeah, I think it's good at this point in the game, especially in this formation, is to get some fresh legs, maybe a different outlet or just a spark in the team. Just, getting the players thinking about what they can do and getting that positivity in, and hopefully can change something up for them.
Arsenal with Beattie. Rolled wide from Lotte Vubermoy. Arsenal again coming forward. Blacksteiners, Catherine Hamill watches her all the way. That is her best asset. She can read the game so well. She's had to do it all day long so far. Shot comes in. Simpson and the rest of the defence can watch it wide as Savannah Robson makes her way out to right back. Just shows the level, the depth of Arsenal. I mentioned earlier, a full-time team. The bar is set with that sort of standard. They don't have Ballon d'Or-esque nominations in Beth Mead, Vivian Miedema. Still have, a fellow Lionesses star in Leah Williamson. And one of the compliments you can pay, one of many, is that the players that are being replaced, the next player up is just as good or just as effective. Leeds try to come forward. Danielle Witham will leave her mark as best she can in midfield. She flies into McCabe, but Arsenal just too classy in the centre of the park, and even Witham's determination doesn't get Leeds on the front foot. Beattie can bring it away and assess the field. Vubermoy out wide she goes. Down the line, McCabe again, she will turn around on her left foot. She's done that all day long so far. It's cleared away by Williams. And that ball goes out and gives Leeds a breather with 67 minutes gone. Robson told to go for territory. Williams, the main instigator of that. It is then Williams that flicks it on with and wins the ball back. Williams fighting for it in the middle. Hamill had more time there, Catherine Hamill. Probably the effect of the game that she's had, that she's so scared that someone's about to intercept her. She went for the long ball approach, but gave the ball away, and Leeds will recycle and defend again. Vubermoy in towards QL. The gap again, McCabe. Danby just waited for it, and so Danby does very well, in fact, to draw the challenge in, get the ball back as Abby Brown gets to the ball, intercepted again. Abby Brown has had 3 players on her since the minute this game kicked off, Jodie.
Yeah, obviously she's got no outlet whatsoever, and even so then, she's not got a minute to breathe. Second to breathe, sorry.
Amy Woodruff is another one that first touch, that was so good. Little flick of the ankle, gets her on the front foot. Second touch has to be perfect. If it isn't, game over. And that is the quality we've witnessed today for Arsenal. And again, will attack.
Not to mention the sea of green she has in front of her before anywhere near the goalkeeper.
Yeah, as the ball is further wide. Arsenal on the attack. Woodruff is one of those players that Leeds have to thank for getting them to this stage. She scored against Stoke last time out. Handball appeals, referee gives it. Again, one of the very few occasions we've had a free kick. I think Carrie Simpson will be told to come off her line and take this set piece. Woodruff beaten to it by Frida Marnham. Frida Marchese, the Arsenal goalkeeper, has had a perfect view of her teammates today and what she's had to watch behind. Dambid stepped up a bit too far there. Arsenal spot the gap and now get the ball inside. Shots coming in. Simpson again with an important save. And Olivia Smart was waiting all the time she could for hopefully Simpson to climb off the deck. But we expected a convincing Arsenal performance. They've got that with the scoreline, and Carrie Simpson single-handedly has made it 4-0 at times today. It could be 8 without her services, Jodie.
Yeah, I think that's very credit to her. Obviously, Leeds have done what they can in front, but the final defence is her, and she's obviously done extremely well today. The one-handed saves we've seen in the first half, to obviously using her feet. I think she's absolutely brilliant today.
Yeah, she's under pressure here again. Smart jumps up, Simpson beaten to it. Maybe a player in the way on the line, and Beattie gets the goal. And everyone launches their way towards the defender. And Jennifer Beattie, experienced player, and too simple again. Set pieces, they have killed Leeds in that area today, and the quality shines through once more. And it wasn't as if there was no real pressure on Beattie. There was somebody there in Olivia Smart. She's just not tall enough, and all she's done is just guide it. And I think of all the saves that Simpson has made today, that other one she is frustrated about.
Yeah, I think there might have just been a miscommunication. Obviously, players just wanted to get to the ball and stop it going in the goal, but I think a bit of communication might have been Carrie Simpson's ball there.
And it's my fault as a cursed her. But I do apologise. As Beattie gets the 5th. Robson goes down the line. Intercepted easily by Beattie once more. And into midfield, Arsenal just exchanging passes around the back four. Once more on the front foot, the Gunners in behind. It was Hurtig's little flick, and it's Catley that floats it to the far post. Too much power on that. 20 minutes left, and Leeds get another breather. So Arsenal's first game in this competition is going to be a winning one. Leeds' quest 99.999% likely to end in this 4th round. But in the build-up, Rick Passmore said about enjoying it, Sarah Danby said about enjoying it, try to do themselves proud. I think even at 5-0 at this stage of the game, it might get worse. I still think there's been so many plus points today to experience what they have. Can't have everything your own way. Leeds would have loved to have kept it at 2-0 before the break. They'd have loved to have a shot or two at the goalkeeper. They've just not had any chance to even put any pressure on the Arsenal goal. And as you can see, the picture of the pitch at the moment, that is one of the reasons why the defensive makeup is so in Arsenal's favour. The shot comes in, another goal, and now the pressure is starting to tell, and the goals are starting to be racked up. And just simple enough, the low block was set, but the gaps were there through the middle. 2 passes later and in, and we really are witnessing one of the best teams in the women's game. And that looked to be Emma Blacksteiners that has got it. Ball through, defending attempted by Robson. She just couldn't get the ball away. After missing her first 2 shots, she does not miss the 3rd.
Yeah, I think even though Leeds are working tirelessly off the ball, Arsenal are still able to find those passes through. And obviously, we're seeing that final consistent approach of getting the ball in the back of net from Arsenal.
And the shot is going to come in, and Leeds decide that the best way to attack is to go from halfway. That would have summed up a crazy day if that would have gone in. And a goal kick will be awarded Arsenal's way.
Sean Marquis has been off the line today, majority of the game, so why not?
Yeah, she's pretty much watched from middle of midfield at times as the gap again. Ellis had tried to step up. In behind Hurtig comes. Ellis should just try to put her off. She's done as best she can. It's only cleared as far though as Steph Catley. Into midfield for Frida Marnham, who's been so tired since she stepped off the bench. McCabe rolls it back and Marnham picks up possession. She has Beattie behind her in the number 5 jersey for Arsenal. 74 gone. Arsenal just quickening things up a little bit. They've stepped up the tempo on the edge of the box. McCabe's ball in, headed away by Hamill. Witham clears only as far as another Arsenal midfielder. Beattie just keeps it simple again. We were discussing at half-time, weren't we, about how Arsenal's tactics are just that consistent, that error-free, that it becomes so effective. You know, they're not playing ridiculous football, they're not playing tricks, there's no flicks, you know, they're not showboating. It really is just a repetition after repetition of, you can see the clear training drills they do week in, week out, and they're just mistake-free. They got the ball here again. QL racing forward, no gaps to the middle. Sorry, through the middle. There's a gap out wide though. Ball cut back and it's in. And Blacksteiners gets her second. And the work was done by Frida Marnham, who drove into the penalty area and then flicked it across. And Blacksteiners didn't know that much about it in terms of where it was going, but the touch was deadly enough. And that touch has made it, sadly, 7-0.
I think just passing and moving constant. The ball's not stopped once, even though they've had hardly any pressure at the back. Just that drawing players in. I think once they get a player on the ball, Leeds are trying the best to get close to it. It's drawing 3 or 4 players in, and obviously they've already moved the ball to a different part of the pitch. That's how they make it look so easy.
Change is going to be made, and I'm going to see Michelle Einam come on, and she will replace Katie McCabe. And another change perhaps lined up as Carrie Simpson's, and we felt the effects of something here. She's asking for some treatment as the Arsenal fans celebrate their team. And just the muscle stretch of Carrie Simpson, hopefully just a bout of cramp, as she has had to get up and down plenty of times. 7-0. And Arsenal and their team are enjoying their day out and racing their way into the next round. But this is a humbling experience as well as an exciting one for Leeds women to say they could play against Arsenal. And I guess this blueprint Arsenal have set is something that could take decades for a football team to reach, but I think first and foremost Leeds have got to aspire to be the next level above. Divisions keep working and take it step by step. And of course Arsenal many years ahead of them in their development, but a team that have not had it all their own way in recent seasons. They've not won this cup for a couple of years. And I guess that shows you the level of the women's game at the very top level. It's getting better and better. And if Arsenal can't win a cup on the standard they've shown today, it shows the level, Jodie, of where the women's game is at the very top in the WSL.
Yeah, I think obviously Arsenal could do this sort of scoreline to teams in their league, even maybe the league below. So I think Leeds are doing themselves proud today, given the scoreline as well. And the goals that have been scored, the first half obviously extremely proud. But then obviously we've seen a little bit more of how clinical Arsenal can be in these last 10 or so, 15 minutes.
Arsenal on the attack with Steph Catley into Kathy Kuel, back into Lottie Ruben-White, now with Beattie again. Ayuman, the latest substitution on for Arsenal. Pass cleared away, Williams goes for territory. Most convincing clearance Leeds have been able to come together with in the last 10-15 minutes, such as the pressure that Arsenal have applied. Back in, little back heel. Shots coming in near post. Simpson couldn't take a risk. I think it was just about to zip off the surface as it was coming towards her, so a catch was maybe asking a bit too much. Main thing for Karen Simpson is that she just kept it as it was, 7-0. She wasn't 100% sure, so if you're not sure, don't take a risk.
Yeah, it looked like it might have hit off the post as well, so you don't know where it could end up.
Ball to the far post. Arsenal don't get the convincing touch first time around. They will mop up and start again though. Olivia Smart racing back. Touch takes it away. Hurtig goes for it. Simpson punches. It's a punch that's at least kept them at bay for now. As Catley goes for it. Far corner. Hits the, I think it's the crossbar. Shot comes in from Aguiman and it's in. And it's 8 and it just keeps falling to Arsenal every single time. And the original shot probably deserves to go in, such was the power. It's Aguiman gets it and makes it 8-0 to Arsenal. Convincing finish, Jodie, when it eventually fell to her.
Yeah, I think the first touch obviously set her up nicely, and then obviously the power behind it. You can't ask much more from that.
Getting back underway into the final 10 minutes of it. And the goals have really started to flow in this second half. It was 3-0 at the break through Ford, Kuel, and then Little's penalty. And then it's Hurtig, Beattie, a brace from Blacksteinus, Aguiman. And 4 of those goal scorers, or 3, but 4 of those goals have come from subs. And that tells you just how good this Arsenal squad is, that they can come on and just fill the void that's been left behind them. In some cases improve it as Arsenal come again. Beattie once more. Catley leads his block, he's set. The midfield 4 though, lack of pressure. It's just a case of trying to be damage limitations this afternoon, make it as low scoring as possible. The second half, those plans have been unravelled a little bit, but Leeds still trying to keep them at bay. There's lack of pressure there. It's just a free cross. Header comes in from Blacksteinus. Smith clears. It isn't a convincing one. Hurtig shoots. Simpson parries and gets it up and away rather than spill it in front. It's a good convincing save. Rick Passmore's side now are starting to look like a team, Jodie. They want this game to end. They've been kicked and beaten. Catherine Hamill goes for the shout at the end to try and put the pressure on. Mentally and physically very, very tired out there, the team. As it is still Arsenal on the attack. Their umpteenth corner of the game towards the near post. Blacksteinus miss-kicks it. It's going to allow Ellis to at least race away. She is just a little bit troubled. She wants it back from Brown, and now Ellis gets off on a foot race. She's determined. She isn't quick enough to get there though. But that's all we need from Macy Ellis. Determination. Try something. She'll no doubt be blowing and puffing now as she races back. They'll be out of breath. She's worked very hard, but again the stretched Arsenal player Hurtig has just stayed on the halfway line and beat the offside trap every time off the bench. She gets into the area. Across comes Robson, nearly fouls her. A couple of Leeds players getting each other's way. Witham will clear. It's a free shot coming in though, and it's smashed in. And that is as convinced as you're going to get from Arsenal's midfield. An absolute bullet from Victoria Pelova makes it 9.
Yeah, I think it's a bit unfortunate there, miscommunication of the 3 players at the back. I think it would have been better if it were 2 Arsenal players. At least that Leeds player can take control and obviously just hope to get it out. And I think obviously that miscommunication, it lands perfectly for Arsenal in a dangerous position to convert.
Two more Leeds subs being readied. Woodruff just asking instructions from the ref. Subs likely wanting to be made before this. And they will be, so Leeds get the chance to send more bodies on. Abby Brown replaced by Sandra Suarez-Martins. You can see Kanisha May Underdown ready as well. We can see Bridie Hannon also ready to go. Abby Brown near left, Bridie Hannon waiting embarrassingly for the high five. Glad she recovered it. That was going to be an embarrassing moment for her. Sarah Danby replaced by Bridie. And Kanisha May Underdown is going to get ready to come on as well. So you wait to see who the last change will be. And it is for Catherine Smith. So like for like in midfield. And final subs. So all outfield players have been given the chance to play in this game today. And Underdown replaces Smith for the final few minutes. So Leeds, little victories in this game. I'm sure some viewers, I'm sure other people will be maybe suggesting it's not something to aspire to be, but the last 5-minute goal now, if you're going to try and set one, is the chances of Leeds getting a shot towards goal is extremely unlikely. The last 5-minute win is this scoreline. It has to stay at this. Try and keep it as respectful as you can to say you played against the best of the best. Not conceding double figures would be, I think, their main target for now, but doing so is another different story as the cross is going to come in. Arsenal can't latch onto it at first, so Leeds will start to press out. Led by Smart, headed up and away. Blacksteinus Underdown gets to it first. Here comes Palova. The footwork, it's incredible. The shot comes in, it's blocked. Underdown races across and clears. And Suarez-Martins can keep it alive, but they have got 5 minutes, Jodie, to try and keep it at 9.
Yeah, I think Suarez-Martins was looking for something there. Obviously coming on as fresh as a sub. She's thinking hopefully there's somebody there for her, but it's obviously hard on the legs. 8 to 6 minutes against the Arsenal side.
Yeah, she'll need to look at another sub if she wants somebody to be as energetic as that. Woodruff has run herself into the ground. So is Dania Witham as a shot comes in. Carrie Simpson, simple save. Simpson clears downfield. Beatty again. Ubermoy. Suarez-Martins steps up, so she shows her the inside. Cross comes in, it's blocked by Bridie Hannon. Back in her regular centre-back spot. Shot's going to come in. And slice wide. A rare miscue from Steph Catley. Slices it past the far near post. So 8 to 7 gone. Still Arsenal 9, Leeds United Women 0. Simpson watches it all the way, but of the Leeds players whose stock has risen, I think Carrie Simpson has just done that, and yet she's picked the ball out on those 9 occasions. I guess you would dread to think what the scoreline would be without her.
Yeah, I think it's one that we don't want to think about.
Catherine Hamill racing back, great keeping. Catherine Hamill again, brave defending. The two combine, little congratulations amongst the pair. Hamill and Blacksteinus having an argument about a foul or two. Just shows the competitiveness of this Arsenal team that she's complaining at a foul when she scored a brace and they're winning 9-0. That's a good striker. Wants a hat-trick. As Williams and Woodruff try and put the pressure on. Just a couple of minutes left for Leeds. They try and stop a 10th going in. Arsenal are looking for it. They want to make a statement result in this competition. Put a warning out to the rest of their WSL rivals. Williams gets across and will concede the throw. Leeds have to be quicker here. Arsenal just not much more well drilled, of course. Full-time training will do that to you. Cross comes in, it's sliced wide and behind it goes. So we should, once this goal kick has been taken, have a final minute of regulation time. And from this we have a regular run of fixtures in the league, hopefully if the weather keeps itself in check. And something, Jodie, for Rick Passmore's sides to build on. But great advert for the Leeds women's team in terms of how they've progressed into the cup to play one of the biggest teams in England, if not the biggest. And hopefully only positivity from here with the rest of the league.
Yeah, I think that's all you can ask of your side against Arsenal, being at the top flight. I think obviously he's given his game plan and they've executed as best they can for as long as they can, especially in the first half. It's obviously just seeing the game out now, like you say, last minutes or so.
Ellis and Williams, the two that were trying to combine down that touchline. As it's going to be played further forward. Arsenal looking for that 10 towards Blackstone as Williams tries to keep that from happening. Hurtig goes for it, and it's well and truly over the top. And the referee has a glance at the watch as Arsenal's latest attack goes begging. So Leeds defending as best they possibly could. Hurtig got the technique all wrong, but got into a good area as we need a new ball at Bourne Woods home. Good pitch as well for the Leeds women to play on. That Tadcaster surface of the pitches at that level can be hard work at this time of year. And the 3 minutes of stoppage time signal, so hopefully Leeds can end any sign of a positive. 9-0 they trail as the ball is played forward. Hannon with the deflection. Tackle, but it goes straight back to Beattie. So as Martins with the header, under down. Keeps it tidy, tries to roll it forward to Woodruff. Often fine when you play against quality position, their deflections go their way as well. That one sadly didn't keep Leeds on the attack, but they've won a throw. And again, as they try and register hopefully one attack to save her. Rick Passmore steps back for Olivia Smart, trying to go down the line. That ball I don't think came in play. We get another chance here to take, and it's cleared away again. Leeds just trying to wrestle their way forward. Emma Smart in no rush. Martins' touch, and Arsenal are just going to concede a goal kick. So 92 minutes is up. Referee, in fact, decided that was a free kick rather, a throw-in rather than ball had played out. So Arsenal go again, and again they just switch on straight away, try and get an attack going. Down the side it goes. Hurtig once more has managed to peel away. Wienreuter, Pelova, who scored that fine goal for Arsenal last time out. Last shot they had. And Gary Simpson dives on the ball to make sure that that could well be that for the for the afternoon. Arsenal 9, Leeds 0, and Simpson just takes all the time she possibly can. Now can she get the ball as far away from goal as possible? with them looking wide to Suarez Martins. Woodruff just starts to drop back in. Beattie rolls it forward to Wobbenboy. Last few seconds for this game to go. Referee just having a bit more time perhaps than Leeds expected. Through it again towards Pelova. Smart steps up. Underdown needs to come across and help her, and she does. Underdown can now try and carry it clear. She carries it enough to play it down the line. Good footwork, but no option whatsoever. No out ball. But Arsenal's fans rise to their feet. A convincing performance from Arsenal women this afternoon. And the clash showed from one of the best teams in women's football against Leeds United Women. Goals from Ford, Kuel and Little in the first half. But then the clash really told as Leeds got tired. Hurtig, Beattie, Blacksteiners got 2. Aguiman and then Pelova made it 9. And Leeds will hope in the years to come they can play a team of Arsenal stature on a regular occasion. For that though, a couple of promotions are needed, but a day to savour for some of those players, despite the scoreline, to say you played against the best of the very best. So Leeds will regroup and go back to league action for now. Arsenal will take some stopping in the competition. The full-time score at Meadow Park, Arsenal 9, Leeds 0.